No family is as close as the Targaryens, nor as divided. The Targaryens ruled Westeros for hundreds of years prior to the events of Game of Thrones, and fans are getting a look into that time period in HBO's House of the Dragon. While Cersei and Jaime Lannister's intimate relationship was considered taboo in Game of Thrones, it is completely normal and encouraged for Targaryens to intermingle within the family tree. Cousins married cousins, uncles wed nieces, even sisters and brothers were betrothed to one another. Due to the normal nature of this, no one really thinks that hard about the fact that Daemon and Rhaenyra Targaryen are uncle and niece in House of the Dragon. This character analysis does contain spoilers for the HBO show, but I will try to not give away any spoilers from the Fire and Blood novel, which is essentially the George R.R. Martin book that the HBO show is based on. From the first episode, we see Rhaenyra and Daemon are close. While Daemon is certainly the black sheep of the family, it's clear Rhaenyra adores him and vice versa. Daemon's first action upon arriving at King's Landing is giving Rhaenyra a necklace. While they do have that somewhat traditional uncle-niece relationship, you can tell there is something more brewing underneath. Daemon might be scoping Rhaenyra out pretty much from the start. There is even a moment in the show where I believe they do kiss, and then rumors spread of them sleeping together, which I thought was interesting because while intermingling within the family is normal, this even upsets Viserys, Rhaenyra's father, and Daemon's brother. Viserys had no problem potentially marrying Laena Velaryon, his niece, or marrying Rhaenyra off to Laenor Velaryon, both cousins, but his daughter sleeping with his brother was apparently a step too far. However, fate had other ideas in store. Years went by, Rhaenyra married Laenor, and Daemon married Laena. Both marriages end up not working out, either by death or other reasons, and eventually Rhaenyra and Daemon marry. Now, as a side note, I think Rhaenyra's best relationship was probably with Harwin Strong, who we all know fathered Rhaenyra's first three children, since we know Rhaenyra and Laenor never had children together. That's a different story for another time, but I just wanted to throw that out there really quickly. Anyway, Daemon and Rhaenyra marry. They end up having two children, and by the time the first season of House of the Dragon ends, Daemon and Rhaenyra are united against the events that will happen in season 2, the Dance of the Dragons. Now, while it seems like these two are like a power couple, I don't view them as that. There, of course, is the dynamic that Daemon is Rhaenyra's uncle and older than her, so you already have an uneasy pairing there. But I feel like there's more. I do not feel that Daemon and Rhaenyra's relationship, I don't feel that they are the power couple that you think they are. Not you personally, like how they're trying to portray them as. Um, and again, I'm trying not to get into spoilers from the book, because if you're someone who doesn't want to know what's happening next, then I think that's completely fair. But it's very obvious from the first episode of House of the Dragon that Daemon wants to be Viserys' successor. In the House of the Dragon show, Viserys, is the king. Him and his first wife, Aemma, they keep trying to have children, but the only child they were ever able to have was Rhaenyra, which then leaves, because it's, what am I trying to say? This is during the time, because even though it's mystical and fantasy, this is taking place essentially during a time that reflects the time in human history where women weren't ever thought of or even considered to be rulers of land. It was always men. So as a king, your essential duty is to always make sure that you have male heirs. Well, because Viserys couldn't have any male heirs with Aemma, he needed to have a successor, even though at the time he was in pretty relatively good health. A king could die at any point and needs to have someone who can take that throne after him. Since he had no children, no male children, the obvious would be his brother Daemon. And Daemon is his heir up until Daemon, because he's supposed to be like the rebel and he's very, just doesn't think properly, very brash and all that. he makes a comment against the fact that Viserys, did have a male heir who was literally alive for like a few hours. And that obviously pisses Viserys off. Daemon is no longer the heir. Well, if Daemon is no longer the heir and Viserys only has one child, Rhaenyra, who's a girl, who's going to be the heir. Viserys does something that no one has ever done before, and he names his daughter as the heir. I think it's very clear that Daemon sees this and realizes that he can still get to the throne if he marries Rhaenyra. I think essentially he is using his niece as a political pawn to get to the power that he wants to get at. And I just think Daemon already is just such a disaster. And I don't know if he really is very capable of being a loving husband. I mean, he certainly wasn't to his first wife. Oh God, I forget her name now, but I'll definitely put that up as soon as I find it out. He wasn't nice to her. He, in fact, killed her so that he could no longer be married to her. And then he marries Lena Velaryon, and they're together for, I believe, 10 years, and they have children. But even he doesn't seem that very upset when she's literally dying in childbirth. So, Daemon's always looking for what's going to benefit him. And being with Rhaenyra, I don't think is as simple. I don't think it's as nice as, oh, he really loves her. They were always meant to be together. They are the strong, powerful couple. They are, getting together and putting together the Targaryen power, just as Aegon the Conqueror did with his two sister wives. I don't believe that. I believe that Daemon is 100% using Rhaenyra to get to the throne. Even in the final episode of the season, and it looks like Rhaenyra is making comments that Daemon doesn't necessarily agree with, and Daemon is literally wrapping his hand around her throat, like super I'm not getting my way and you're not doing what I think you should do type of move. Totally like uncalled for, and definitely red flags everywhere. And again, not to get into book spoilers, but if you read the Fire and Blood book, which I do highly recommend you reading because it reads less like a story and more like a tale of history, you'll definitely see that Daemon really has no love lost for Rhaenyra, and that despite them being literal family, despite them being very close, even when Rhaenyra was younger, that he does not see Rhaenyra as, first of all, blood, and he doesn't see his duties as a husband to her. That's just how I feel personally. I think that there's this very much a selfish nature to Daemon that doesn't allow him to even really fully commit to Rhaenyra. And again, I think that because his position as the heir to the throne was shoved off and he'll never really be the heir to the throne, that that he used Rhaenyra for that. Because even if you say like, oh, well, he marries Rhaenyra, she becomes the queen. What if she dies? Then Daemon becomes the king. No, Rhaenyra and Daemon end up having two male heirs who would then be, they have two male sons, children, babies. They would be the heirs to the throne. And actually, I believe Rhaenyra's other children, the Velaryons, cough, cough, the Strongs, they would be instead the heir. So it's all to me manipulation by Daemon Targaryen, and that I don't feel that Daemon and Rhaenyra should be championed as some sort of power couple that I feel the show almost makes them out to be. It's just very uneasy to me, which is a shame because I think at first Matt Smith and the writing is trying to make Daemon this like bachelor, bad boy guy, but you just love to watch him. And there's almost this like Thor Loki sort of dynamic there. So you want to instantly gravitate to Daemon because you've seen how characters like him get. You're like, oh, he's going to start off this way, but he really has a heart of gold and he's going to change, blah, blah, blah. But for Daemon Targaryen, that does not happen. He is at the bottom of it, a self-serving person who is very selfish. And I think that Rhaenyra is thinking that she's going to finally get the support to go against Alicent and her lineage of Targaryens, when in reality, Daemon is just serving himself. He is not serving Rhaenyra. He is not serving Rhaenyra because his late brother made her the heir, and she's almost like the true child of Viserys Targaryen. It's like, no, 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 no. Daemon is serving himself. So I just wanted to come on here really quick and talk about that, not go too much into it. I feel in order to do a true character analysis, I would have to get into spoilers for Fire and Blood. And I really don't want to do that because I think maybe it would be, a little disingenuous, or not disingenuous. It would be a little messed up to spoil that for you guys because if HBO does it right, and I think they will, if HBO does it right, they got some really awesome stuff coming up in the next season and maybe even the season after that. I don't know how long House of the Dragon is going to go on for, and if it's going to go past the Dance of Dragons, we don't know. So let's just keep up for that. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think of Daemon Targaryen, Rhaenyra Targaryen. Do you like their relationship together? Are you also kind of wise to the point that Daemon is using Rhaenyra, or do you feel as if his intentions are genuine? I would really like to know. I don't know when House of Dragon season 2 is coming out. Obviously, with a lot of the strikes, with the strike, a lot of things were put on hold. So hopefully we'll get more updates soon. I think for all of us Game of Thrones fans, even though we were pretty jaded from season 8, season 1 of House of the Dragon has kind of rejuvenated our love for George R.R. Martin's world. And I highly suggest that while you're waiting for season 2 of House of the Dragon to come out, to read Fire and Blood. You can even find it on Audible. This episode is not sponsored. I just really like listening to the audiobook versions of things. So yeah, this is Tia, another one of my character analysis. If you're not subscribed to Geek Vibes Nation, please make sure that you are. We do a lot of awesome things, a lot of awesome interviews and all that jazz. And please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And again, let me know what you think of Daemon and Rhaenyra's relationship. Did you like Rhaenyra with Harwin Strong, even though we didn't get to see them together for very long? And hot take, do you think that she should have actually went with Jason Lannister? Let me know this down below. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a great day. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and I will talk to you later. Bye.